We're back to YouTube questions. I hope you're all well at home. I'm on day, I think it's 10, something like that. I'm happy to be home though because I get, not enough time at home with my little family. So anyway, gives me more time for the YouTube questions. Here we go, and that is, next question I've got is from Al Toma. It's twice there. Sorry to take a while, Toma, to get back to you, but it's a good question. It was on my list, and that is, he says here, I want to buy a new trackday bike, BMW 1000 RR, Yamaha R1, Suzuki GSX R1000. Which one would you recommend? And as a trackday rider, and how should the bike be chosen? Really good question. That's probably only half the bikes you've got the choice of. We'll run through them. What I want to do is just throw things out there. I should put them all in a list after each one, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to throw out what I feel, and that is, you've missed out all the Italian ones, and I want to start with them because they're probably the highest performance ones. If you take into account the V4S, V4R, which I've had the pleasure of riding both those, the V4S at Aragon, beautiful track, one of my favourites, if not my favourite. Then I rode the V4R before that, or just after, I can't remember, at Mugello. What an experience. I haven't had the pleasure of riding the new Aprilia, and everyone I've spoken to that's ridden the new Aprilia is very impressed. It's an 1100. They say the electronics are great and the engine is fast, and so I really look forward to an opportunity to ride that. And the thing is with these Dukes, is the V4R especially, and that Aprilia, is they are beautiful to look at. They perform better than the opposition when it comes to outright performance. They cost a lot more, especially the V4R. The Aprilia is quite reasonably priced. And so they perform at a higher level because they're at a different price bracket, really. I know the V4R is here and S, and the Aprilia is a lower price, which makes it actually pretty exciting. The thing is, I need my bike to do thousands of kilometers and just put fuel, oil, filters, brake pads, tires, wipe it down, and it guarantees to go every day. And I don't trust the Italian ones to be able to do that, and especially at the price the Japanese can do it at, meaning you don't spend anything more than those things, and the bike costs less. So it's mine as a company, and I'm running teaching people. It's all about time on the bike, and being able to thrash those bikes with the minimum of maintenance, and that, if you need that, I don't recommend the Italian machines. They're more for someone who has a bigger budget and wants a higher level of machine. I know that's cheeky to everyone else, but that's what they're aiming at, to give you something a little bit extra. It looks good, sounds good, performs incredible, and costs you more, and you need to do more servicing. If you're happy with that, that's great. That's what you should get. So on the other end of that is the Suzuki, like I mentioned, the GSX R1000. I've done 16,000 Ks on the old model one, the first one I had. Unbelievable, 16,000 Ks track kilometers. Never checked the valves, changed oil, filters, brake pads, tires, wiped it down, didn't even wash it properly. Incredible. It needed a chain in that time, about 8,000 Ks. The new one, the chains don't even last as long, and it's either lower on quality or something to do with the electronic cutting, which the old one didn't have. Maybe it damages the chain more. Anyway, I'm guessing. So the only other bike I know does this similar sort of Ks and reliable, so which is the other end of the Italians trackday bike scale. Italians at one end. I would say the old model Honda CBR 1000 was same sort of thing. I had one before when I first started out on track days, and it was unreal. Same thing, just fuel, oil, tyres, brake pads, a chain, filters. So there's those. I don't know the new Honda, so I can't comment on it. I don't know. Then everyone else is kind of in the middle. I would say that the Yamaha is near the Italians in that performance is great. It's magic bike to ride. I love the sound of it, love the look of it. It's not as fast. It's actually one of the slower thousands on the straight. But when you're going around a track, the acceleration off the turn is amazing. It's very difficult to stay with someone on an R1, even if he's not as good as you. The way it punches off the corner with that torque, with the cross-plane engine, and it's very good on entry. If the bike's set up correctly, going in and coming out, which is what you're doing the majority of time on circuit. You're only using that engine really well to the maximum once a lap, but you're using going in, coming out all the way around. So it's a very impressive bike. The negative on that one is it would do half the mileage, I think, before needing a rebuild engine-wise as the Honda and the Suzuki. So you got to take that into account. Is it what you want? Can you afford to do that? Is it worth the extra money? And some people it is, definitely. Others, in my situation, it isn't. Because of the kilometres I need to do and 100% reliable. So then there's the BMW and the Kawasaki kind of sitting right in the centre, where I think the performance of the BMW, it's faster than the Suzuki on the straight. I see that by a little bit anyway. ZX10 is probably between the BMW and the Suzuki, So they're all really similar in there. The only thing is the BMW and the Kawasaki aren't quite as bulletproof as the Suzuki and the Honda, because I see all my clients that have them have to do gearbox work or some sort of maintenance in, at an earlier period, not as early as probably the Yamaha, but definitely earlier than the Suzuki and the Honda. In that, like for example, my mechanic, he has dealt with the ZX10s a lot. I've got a lot of clients with ZX10s. I've borrowed the ZX10 because I went to Turkey and Greece, and a good client of mine, thank you Alto, he loaned me his second bike, which was a ZX10. He had another one, and fantastic bike, great to ride. I would put it in the same level as the BMW, very similar, and the Suzuki. It's so similar performance-wise. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It made the job easier. It was a good bike to ride. The electronics were good on it. You have to take into account the gearbox shimming, the gearbox maintenance when you have one. And it's not a nasty job because it's a cassette gearbox. Like I was saying, my mechanic has had a lot of experience with that, and he just says, it's not a crazy job because of that. When you come to that shimming and that, because it's cassette gearbox comes out the side, you don't have to take the engine out, turn it upside down, take the bottom off it. Like you would have to with most of the others. The Suzuki, the Honda. So the old CBR. So. It really comes down, they're all so close, it really comes down to what your priorities are, what colour you like, what brand, and how much maintenance you want to do for the performance. So Guys, I hope that helped. I know I would have missed something out there. Um, yeah, good luck. Really good one here from Al Coleman. His question is, how do you know when you're fast enough for slick tires? And I say that's a really good question because I come across it at every event I do. I hear opinions on it, I get asked it, and I have to deal with it, meaning I have to choose tyres for my clients that run on my GSXR thousands and choose tyres for my own bike, but theirs, and they could be riding for their first track day. And I've got another client who's an A group, super fast. So opposite ends of the scale, but I've got to put the right tyres on for them because I obviously need to keep my clients happy, keep them safe, so they come back. They had a great time. They want to come back, and also I want to keep my bikes in one piece. The last thing I want is my mechanic working through the night trying to look for parts to repair to keep the bikes on the track the next day. So here's how I do it. If the client is a fast group, I'll choose him slicks, the same as I'm running, the Dunlop Intex. Then if the client is first day on track at the other end of the scale, I look through the tyres I've got. I don't care if it's treaded or not. I care if it's a soft enough compound. I never run street tyres. The reason is, they work when they're cold, but they never have a very high level of grip. Never. Doesn't matter whether they're cold, hot, never have the same level of grip. So I can't say to the client, look at where I'm going, follow me, trust me. Never look at the gravel, panic. If you've gone a little bit hot, instead of going and looking at the gravel, look at me, look at where I'm going, trust the bike, trust the lean angle, it will go around the corner. I can't tell him that if he's got street tyres on because they won't hang on. The chances are, anyway, they'll let go. If I've got soft compound slicks, they will not be hard as a rock, you know what I mean, because they haven't got enough temperature in. They will hang on to a much higher level and let that rider make a mistake, whether it's throttle or brake or lean angle, and get away with it. And that's what I need, so we can get through that period. And he's had a great event. Third day, he's got a big grin on, So if the client is slow to repeat, it doesn't matter if it's treaded or not. There's the argument that tread gives the tyre more, makes it move more. I feel that when I'm pushing hard. I don't feel it when we're going slow with the client. They're the same compound rubber coming out of the same factory. It's just some of the tyres have treads and some of them don't. So to repeat, warmers always, track specific tyres always. You just have to choose the right compound for your level. Then as the rider gets better, if you're a good level track day rider and you've never tried slicks, what I'd like to say to you is don't hesitate. They're fantastic. They're like I said, they're the same rubber coming out of the same factory. The construction might be a little different or a little different shape, but they're wonderful. I personally look at them as they're the treaded tyres without the bit of rubber stolen out of them. I get all the tyre. Really, nobody regrets jumping on slicks if you've chosen the right compound. I hope that helps. Safety reminder at the end of that question is when you're using track specific tyres, doesn't matter if it's slicks or treaded, you've got warmers. You have to have warmers with them. The only danger with them is, say, if you take them off the warmers too early and go and line up at the end of the pit lane, it's a cold day, wind's blowing, you're taking away that heat. It's impossible to get a rubber to work in all windows temperature wise. So track specific stuff's made to work in a higher level temperature wise. So you can't let them go stone cold. That's the only time they're dangerous, let them go stone cold. If you keep them warm, meaning you wait till the green light's on and then whip them off and roll out, if you keep those tyres warm, they are safer riding on track than street tyres because they only give you, they'll inspire confidence because of the level of grip they feel from the first lap. But you've got to keep some temperature in. Anyway, stay safe. Hope you enjoyed.